Hello everyone, this is Bob DiGiacomo, Transformational Leadership Expert of Bermuda Bob Leadership and Intentional Growth Coaching, and I am coming to you from sunny and beautiful Bermuda. I had hoped to get you some water scenes, but it's a little bit windy down there near the water, maybe later in a future video. My question today though is dealing with a series that I have been doing on first impressions, and when do you go out of first impression mode? Well, first of all, after some serious discussion with people, they suddenly realize that, hey, I'm always in first impression mode, and that is correct. Now, you may be wondering why the sunglasses. Well, it is sunny out here, but that could have an effect on your first impression mode. And of course, somebody the other day mentioned that I have on this earpiece, and that too can have an effect on your first impression mode. Well, the sunglasses are to keep the sun out of my eyes, but the earpiece right now is being used to connect my voice to my iPad so that this recording can take place outside. However, you are always in first impression mode. Now, it may require dressing up. It may require not dressing up. You won't really know until you're in the situation that you're in to determine how you need to dress. The rule of thumb always is that you can always dress down, but you can never dress back up. And so, pointing that out, part of that connection that you need to have is getting in that environment, having a smile, getting in, getting a good handshake, and making that connection with the individual by learning their name. But again, it may or may not require a full dress. You may be overdressed. But I'll take that up in a subsequent video. Well, continuing on with the previous video that you just saw, you can see that I've clearly dressed down a little bit. And you can see that the scenery behind me has changed. I've lost the sunglasses. I'm smiling a bit more. But the point I want to make in this particular video is the fact that, and I've turned the camera around for a specific purpose as well, the point I want to make in this video is that even though you are connecting with the person who is immediately near you, you must always be aware of what's going on your peripheries. And that is why I'm such a stickler for knowing how to dress in the first place, because you never know who is watching you from afar. Now, in Bermuda, it's not uncommon for people to go to work in many different dress modes. We have people who wear navy blue blazers, Bermuda shorts, knee socks. They look really, really good. You have other people who come to work in just shorts, a Oxford shirt, no socks, and a pair of shoes. That's another form. Then you've got people, and of course I'm speaking from the male perspective. Women dress in all different dress modes as well. But again, the whole point here is who is looking at you from the peripheries. You're making that connection with the people that are near you, but you never know who you're going to interact with next, who has been observing you. Here I am with the third part of this video, and I guess you can see that I've really taken it to extremes here with the hat. I tend to wear a hat like this, but I see hats in all different configurations. Again, we're back to the sunglasses. I'm outside. We're back to the earpiece. But let's go to the earpiece for a second. Obviously, I've dressed down for this particular part of the video. I do have my John Maxwell shirt on, but if you can clearly see, I've got on a scruffy pair of jeans with a belt that just doesn't cut it. Now, my point is that I represent John Maxwell. I need to ensure that when I'm out there and I'm in first impression mode, that I am representing John Maxwell in a way that befits the integrity of John Maxwell, which in turn affects my integrity. So, you need to ensure that if you're representing somebody, that you're dressed properly, no matter whether you're dressed up or dressed down. But again, going back to the earpiece, how often does social media or our cell phones affect the impact that we make on people in first impressions? Are we so busy looking to talk to somebody on the phone while we're busy trying to interact with somebody? I don't know how you would feel, but I technically don't feel all that great if somebody suddenly is on the phone while we're having a business interaction. Would you want to do business with those people? I see people walking around who are sort of wearing a uniform of sorts. They work for government, and their shirt tails are all over the place. What does that say about you, the person, based on the way that you dress? This is all part of the first impression mode that I'm going over today. Because at the end of the day, your success is important to you. Don't you want to put yourself in a situation where your success is going to happen the way that you want it to. In fact, it'll happen even greater than you want it to. But it's all based on those first impressions. Later on, dress down is good. How does your boss dress when he comes to work? Maybe that's okay in that job situation. But you need to make that great initial impact. You need to ensure that other people that are observing you are observing you the way that you choose to want to be observed. The rule of thumb always is, if you were arrested today, would you have done enough to ensure that your first impression was the first impression that you wanted to make? Those are just some thoughts. You can govern yourselves accordingly. I would look forward to your comments and your thoughts on this topic. Quite frankly, there's a book out there by John Maxwell called Everyone Communicates and Few Connect. Definitely a worthwhile read. Definitely a great mastermind to plug into. Send me your comments, bermudabob@me.com, or you can find me on Facebook at Bermuda Bob, your transformational leadership expert. And I promised I would give you some water scenes today. There's not much wind up here, so there's a part of Bermuda that maybe you don't get to see. Come on down to Bermuda. We'll be happy to see you. And my door is always open. Bermuda Bob, your transformational leadership expert. I hope I have been of some help to you. Let me know. Take care.